In this lesson, we're going to discuss ways of solving systems of equations. The first type we're going to use or solve by graphing. The second type we're going to use the substitution method to solve for linear equations. And the third type we're going to use elimination. All the problems look similar. It's just a matter of which method to solve them. In this case right here, because I'm going to use graphing and I had some fractions in the problems, I went ahead and wrote the problem down twice, but this would be one equation, this would be our second equation. First thing I would do is get rid of the fractions by multiplying by the common denominator, and in this case right here it would be 4. 2 divides into 4 2 times, the 4's cancel here and the 4's cancel here. And also on this equation I would also multiply by 4 being the common denominator. And the reason I wrote the problem down twice was to go, once I wrote it on top of the problem, I would want you to see the original problem. Multiply what you have left. 2 times 1x is going to be 2x. 3y equals to negative 1. So when I cancel that, I did not cancel the negative sign. On this side we would have 3x minus y equals to positive 4 because we have to multiply that. Now to graph this, I would need to solve each equation for y. So I would move the 2x to the right hand side. So I would have 3y equals to negative 2x minus 1, and then divide everything by 3. So we would have y equals to negative 2/3 x minus 1/3. Here I would move my 3x to the right hand side, which will give me negative y equals to negative 3x plus 4. Divide everything by negative 1 because you want a positive y equals to positive 3x minus 4. So when we go over here and graph this, I would actually start at negative 1/3 on the y-axis, and then I would move 2 units down because of the negative sign and 3 units to the right because the 3 is actually positive. So when we go to the graph, because it's negative 1/3, we're just going to have to guesstimate about a third down. Because my slope is negative 2/3, I'm going to go down 1, 2, and to the right 3. And then I would draw my line. The line should intersect unless it's a special case. My next equation was y equals 3x minus 4. So I would start at negative 4. My slope would be positive 3 over positive 1. So when I start at negative 4, I'm going to do that on the y-axis 1, 2, 3, 4. Because my slope is positive 3, I would go up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. And you can see where these lines are going to intersect. As far as writing the answer for the solution down, these two lines are intersecting at a point, so you have to write them as a point. It's actually specifically this point. So if I were going to name this point from my origin, I would name them in parentheses in order of pairs. That would be positive 1 and then negative 1 as far as my y value is concerned. That would be my solution for that system of equations where they intersect. Now, looking at using the substitution method, if I had these two equations right here, I would actually take these out and write them side by side. So I would have 6x minus y equals to negative 5 and 4x minus 2y equals to positive 6. Now, you can solve for any variable. You have an x here, a y here, x here, and a y here. This y is actually the easiest thing to solve for because it has an understood negative 1 in front as far as coefficient is concerned. So move our 6x to the right, and we would get negative y equals to negative 6x minus 5. Divide everything by negative 1. And the idea is you're going to solve for a variable. So y equals to 6x plus 5. In our other equation, I would just leave it as is. And where my y is, I'm going to mark that out and put a set of parentheses. My y value is going to be 6x plus 5. And so I've substituted that in. I have to distribute the negative 2 to the 6x and to the 5. So negative 2 times 6x is negative 12x. Negative 2 times positive 5 is negative 10 equals to positive 6. I add my like terms. 4x minus 12x is going to give me negative 8x. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And I end up with negative 8x equals to positive 16. Divide both sides by negative 8. and then my x value is going to actually equal to negative 2. But I've got to go back and find my y, because remember, these are two equations that are intersecting. So I'm going to go back to this equation over here, just because I have some room to write. My x value, remember, is negative 2, so I'm going to substitute that in. So I have y equals to negative 12 plus 5, which actually y is going to equal to negative 7. So for our final answer, my solution is going to be written as an ordered pair. The x must come first, and the y is going to come second. But you're going to write it as an ordered pair. And if I graph those two lines, then they would intersect at that point. Now, substitution. The third method is using the elimination method. And so for that case, I would actually leave those equations written underneath one another. And you have a choice to make as well as the last one. You have a choice. You can either choose to eliminate the x's, or you can choose to eliminate the y's. I'm just going to select the x's in this case. Look at the coefficients of x. 3 and 2 divide into 6. So I need a 6 here and a 6 here. So to get a 6 on the top row, I would have to multiply it times 2. And on the bottom row, to get a 6 right there, I'd have to multiply by 3. Now, because the x values are the same sign, one of these needs to be negative. And it does not matter top or bottom. I'm just going to let the lower one have the negative sign. So I'm going to distribute the top. 2 times 3x is going to be 6x. 2 times 4y is positive 8y equals to 2 times 2, which is going to be positive 4. The second equation, I'm going to distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times 5y is negative 15y. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So my 6x's cancel. I have 8y minus 15y, which is going to give negative 7y equals to positive 7. Divide both sides by negative 7. No matter which way how you solve this, or which variable you eliminated first, y is going to end up being negative 1. So to be able to solve this, go to one of your original equations. I'm going to go to the second one. It doesn't matter which one. You have 2x plus 5 times where y is. We're still going to have to use substitution. So I'm going to have negative 1. So I have 2x. 5 times negative 1 is going to be negative 5 equals to negative 1. Add 5 to both sides. You'll have 2x equals to positive 4. Divide both sides by 2, and x is going to equal to positive 2. So final answer, x is positive 2 and y is negative 1, and that's how we would write the solution. And that's using the elimination method. I'm going to use elimination for this as well. I just went ahead and rewrote the equations. I'm going to go ahead and try to get rid of y in this case. So I would look at my y coefficients. 3 and 9 both divide into 9. So I would go ahead and try to get a 9 right here. And so I would multiply the top row by positive 3. And in that case, I would distribute 3 times negative x is negative 3x. 3 times 3y is positive 9y. 3 times positive 6 is positive 18. The bottom row has not changed any. 3x minus 9y equals to positive 9. And so my 9y's eliminated at that point. But the 3x is also eliminated because they had opposite signs already. So if I have nothing left, then I have 0 equals 18 plus 9 is going to be 27. Well, in this case, in math, 0 cannot equal to 27. So this is a false statement. If it's a false statement, then that means there is no solution, which really means if I graphed both of these lines, to not have a solution means those are parallel lines. You may see it as no solution. You may see it with a 0 slash through it. You may see it as parallel lines. Now, if it happened to be a true statement, if it would have come out to have 0 equals 0, a true statement, then you would have had infinite solutions, which means it would be the same exact line that falls on top of itself, therefore giving you the infinite solution. So you'll have to be careful with your notation as far as writing your answer.